All right, greetings. Welcome back to Blackburn News, where everything is connected. I got a bit of a buzz today. That's all right. Eh. Eh. Thought it was going to be low level. Hanging out. I'm not underwater, Poppy. No. There for a second. Not really at my house, but I mean it was fairly amount of rain. Yeah, it was pretty nuts. Coming. It rained all. Finally stopped. Clouds here. Moment. So that's. Finn, hello, Rockfinners. Hello, Rockfinners. We're live. We're hanging out. It's a Saturday. Call-in. We're live on call-in. All right. Well, sound is intermittent. Anybody else having that issue with my sound? Please let me know so I can try and rectify. It's okay now? Okay, cool. I'm through this. Cover a couple things today. We're going to talk about it. Oh, thank you, Doug Delane. I appreciate that. Doug Delane said, thanks for what you do every day. Kev. All right, so this is on Lancashire Bridge. This is in LA. This is, you know, what it was looking like. I drove through a couple of puddles myself yesterday that were much bigger than puddles. And I was actually honestly worried for a second, like, how deep is this gonna go, and is my car gonna make it out of this? Anyways, that guy is not making it out of it. Not today. Yeah, on the roof. That's how it was going yesterday for a lot of people. And trees down everywhere. I actually almost ran into a fallen tree. It was an interesting day. And we're going to get more, actually. Some more today and some more this week. It's not going to stop. Has anybody seen Hugh Jackman pimping Bill Gates' climate book? Oh my God. I am not pimping Bill Gates' climate book. But here's Hugh Jackson telling you how Bill Gates is going to help you understand climate change. All right, hold on. He's calling Bill Gates one of the smartest people on earth. I hear you. Hold on. All right, check, check, check. Are we back? Is the crackling gone? Sorry. You never know when the crackle's going to come. Anyways, he called Bill Gates one of the smartest people on earth. Oh, geez. Oh, Lord.
To understand the subject and know where we need to go moving forward. And Bill's an optimist, and so easy to read stuff which sounds very pessimistic around this subject.
Oh, and Bill is an optimist. So, guys, if you don't want a negative, take on climate change, just really read Bill Gates. He'll give you some optimism, and he'll tell you what we need to do and how he's going to fix it. He's going to help us fix it. Yeah, we don't need the last people we need to actually fix this crisis, I think, are the billionaires that are scraping every last dollar from everybody's pockets, right? I think these people truly don't have your best intention in mind or the Earth's best. Their intentions are misplaced, of course, is what I'm trying to say. Anyways. This is wildly ridiculous. Anyways.
But there are ways for us to move forward, and this book outlines it. Highly, highly recommended.
All right. Thanks, Hugh Jackman. I don't know. You know, it's unfortunate that sorry, I got water in my ear. It's unfortunate that when people get to a certain having a certain amount of money or standing in the world, they become complete useless tool. You know, they become completely tools for the establishment, right? For pushing the establishment narrative out there. I don't know if that's contractual or what. Hey, if you want to keep getting paid $20 million for a film, you got to do these things. I saw actually a local artist. Somebody was doing like AI deep fake video cloning, like a video cloning video, right? Showing how easy it is to clone yourself. And I saw this like kind of a local legend artist who is now super, pretty successful, but still is not mainstream, is somewhat underground, and they were part of this like AI deep fake. And I was like, no, not you. They didn't get you, did they? No. But it seems to be a thing that if you get to a certain level of success or achievement, that you get sucked into this. You get sucked into the narrative vortex, right? And there might be no way out. Timothy Martin says Bill Gates hired PR firm to give him his message. Right, exactly. Maybe Hugh Jackman's getting paid for his tweet. It's very possible, or some kind of back scratch. Very likely. But that's unfortunate. Well, yeah, I mean, Bill Gates, right, contributes a lot of money to also all the mass media platforms, so they can are we getting static again, guys, or is it gone? I can't really tell from the Rockfin chats. Somebody was saying there might be some static. Okay. There's from Bread and Circuses retweeting this. Alert, 3 fires broke out at 3 different facilities in Mexico and the U.S. operated by state-owned Mexican oil company Pemex in just one day. That's a lot of... who knows what's going out and what the coincidences of all of these facilities going up in smoke in one day, but All that smoke, Jesus, right? All that smoke and all that. I mean, we just have no. We just keep lighting the planet on fire, right? We just keep burning things. Big bonfires, big pyrotechnics of, whatever it is, vinyl chloride or phosgene or uh, methane or oil flares. War, lighting, setting bombs off, throwing bombs at people, missiles, rockets. We're just going to blow it all up, right? Hormunculus said they blew it up because they weren't vaxxed. Okay, that's funny. That's what you get. I don't know. Is anybody going to consider why this is happening? Pemex is state owned, I guess, right? And maybe this is a message to AMLO. I don't know. Are they competing with the guys? That are making huge profits. They're competing with their profits by undercutting them. I don't know. Maybe. All right, the gang's all here. Everybody's filing in. Everybody's trucking on in here. Very good, very good. Astromaster on Rockfin says more and more safety regs going to be cut as fossil fuels become more expensive. So will everything else, and maybe they're trying to kill us or each other. Who knows, right? We're just, and that's. I mean, sure. We're in a race to of all the resources to suck it all up, and because it's all about control, right? And what controls literally our entire industrial civilization? That is resources, in the broader aspect, but oil, coal, fossil fuels power literally everything that we do, and who has the most wins, I guess, right? So I think that's the basic lizard brain logic there. Who has the most wins? Who can control the last of the fossil fuels, or all of the fossil fuels as everything goes into a ditch? Will be the top monkey? I don't know. But yeah, and so why not deregulate that too? Because we're deregulating everything else. You're standing in the way of progress and capitalism and shareholders and stuff like that. You're standing in the way of my good times, okay? And I will not have it. From Peter Dines. As the permafrost thaws in Siberia, more than 400 methane bombs are primed. We've already had some of these bombs go off. The total release of 50 gigatons of methane would raise global temperatures by 0.6 C over a period of 3 years. That would cause the total loss of habitat for humans. You think a half degree C rise over 3 years would cause the total loss of habitat for humans? I don't know. That's an honest question. I'm not saying it will be good. I'm just saying, is that it? Is that the nail, or is that just like things get super uncomfortable, or that's just a step in the stairway to total loss of habitat? I don't know. I do know that after 2C, and okay, so I guess we're at 1.5, so we add 0.6, and then we're after 2C, things get very shaky. By the time we get to 3C, we won't know it's 3C. Let me continue this thread here just a second. For clarification, we don't know when this could happen. I'm not saying within the next 3 years. All we know is that the gas is there and the permafrost is melting. We need to urgently address it. I don't know how we do that. I mean, I don't even know what, it's something to say. It's something to say, but how do you address melting permafrost? I don't know how do you reverse it? Again, that's why I often ask this question. If this is some kind of plan, what is the end of your plan, right? Because if it's some kind of evil plan by Dr. Evil in his mountain lair or island lair or wherever he's at, if that's his plan, I don't know how you reverse that, right? Oh, all the permafrost is melting. Well, I don't know how do you reverse that. How do you address that? It's a weird thing to say because I'm like, well, what are you going to freeze it? I don't know. Are the mirrors gonna? Do you think that the mirrors are going to refreeze the permafrost in the Arctic? I don't know. It just doesn't sound very likely, and it doesn't. Well, let's refreeze the uppermost portion of an entire continent, or how about a couple of continents, so that we do not expire as humans on the planet. Okay. Are you talking about? What are you talking about? Are you talking about volcanoes? Are you talking about limited nuclear war? What are you talking about? What exactly is the plan for that? I'm not sure. I mean, maybe he does think it's the mirrors that are going to do it. I don't know. He says, for comparison, the Nord Stream emissions were between 56,000 and 155,000 tons of methane. Right. So that's a lot of methane. I still don't know what he means by addressing it. But maybe he'll relay that to us in another tweet. I'm not sure. It's just weird to me. It's weird to me when people go, something must be done right away. And I'm like, what is it? Were you going to spell that out? Something, people end their climate change is really bad and it's destroying what? Don't say that stuff. Something must be done. We must address it. Something. What? What is it? Because that's just not helpful. Do you have a plan? Do you have something concrete in mind? Do you have the steps involved? I don't know how saying that stuff helps people. Because you're just going, you're just putting people in a place of something. Yeah. We got to refreeze an entire continent full of permafrost. Sounds simple enough. Let's address it. Okay. I don't know. My point is made. Frida Animals retweets this. Profitable high-tech farm, $4 billion RMB to build a 26-story building to raise 600,000 pigs. This is in China. We're going to build huge 26-story pig apartments. They like building apartment buildings in China, so they're going to build some pigs apartment buildings too, and that, that way the pigs won't have to be raised over here. They can just be raised right in the middle of the city. But this is the future, I think, of food. If there is a future of food, is going to be underground, indoors, and that's where all of the where all the food will be raised and grown. And if the pigs get swapped out for some other animals, would you even know? Would you even notice? If we were eating Soylent Green, would you even notice? There's a company selling a product called Soylent. I mean, is that not weird? Isn't that weird? Is that not weird to you? That's not very ha-ha funny, is it? Yeah, there's a company called Soylent. Meal replacement. A meal replacement shake called Soylent. Why? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Somebody got paid to think that name up, or somebody wanted to start a company and they're like, we'll call it Soylent. What is wrong with you? I'm gonna start a company and name it Auschwitz. What? What are you thinking? I'm gonna start a company. I don't know. I'm gonna start a computer company and name it HAL. No. Soylent. All right. But people are dumb. And they keep on, we could get out of this if we just wanted to stop doing the dumb, being dumb. We could get out of this, maybe. But we're addicted. We are addicted to dumb. We are, as they call it in AA, it's called stuck on stupid. We are stuck on stupid. And that's why. Yeah, Schultze says, I think they might be preparing us. At Andrews, I wonder how fast pathogens will spread in those pig skyscrapers. Anyways. Doomer Girl. News. Humans mess about with nature trying to save itself. Robotic bees and roots. Off of healthier environment and sufficient food. This is more future of food. The future of food is going to be, I don't know what, vats and robotic bee replicants home an unsuspecting queen of a hive, but unlike the rebellious replicants in the 1982 sci-fi thriller Blade Runner, these ones are here to work. Do the right thing, I'm sure. They're just here to work. They're not here in developments or take direction from a renegade AI. They're just here to work. They're not here to, to get off track and go off, pardon the expression, the bee reservation and do something they're not supposed to do. They're not here to, Combining miniature robotics, there you go, artificial intelligence, AI. Oh, there won't be some rogue AI that takes over all the robot bees and the robot dogs and the robot humans and it says, today's the day, guys. We're taking them out. We're taking over, right? That's not going to happen. Not at all. The plan is for the robotic bees to stimulate egg laying in the queen by, for example, feeding her the right foods at the right time. We plan to affect a whole ecosystem by interacting with them with only one single animal, the queen, said Dr. Farshad Arvin. Hope these robot bees don't kill the queen. Poppy Davis, Soylent is an undesirable, lackluster, and artificial foodstuff as a substitute for real meat, a word before the movie. Yeah, I figured, Soylent meant something beyond what the movie does, but still, how can you escape the stigma of calling something Soylent? You named a whole company Soylent. That is dumb. That is just dumb. That is, can I say it again? Dumb. Dumb as rocks. I don't know how you could think that is actually, and it doesn't sound by the definition that you gave, Poppy. It doesn't even sound really all that. It's undesirable, lackluster, and artificial food stuff. Why would you name your company after that? Unless you were a big dummy. Why would you do that? And why would you even drink it? Like, can you imagine buying a product named Soylent? Guys, what are you drinking? What are you having? Soylent? It's fine. It's fine. It's all really good. Okay. Why would you do that?
Unknown caller.
And you shall forever remain unknown. Anyways, the robot bees they're gonna save it. They're gonna save us. The Robo Royale project that Arvin leads with combines microbiotic, biological, and machine learning technologies to nurture the queen honeybee's well-being. Yeah, the multi-robot system, which the team hopes to start testing in the coming months, will learn over time how to groom the queen to optimize her egg laying and production of pheromones, chemical scents that influence the behavior of the hive. The system is being deployed in artificial glass observation hives in Austria and Turkey. With the bee replicants, again, I mean, I know replicants means something, but why would you call something a replicant? There's probably a stigma in calling a robot a replicant. That's okay. The replicants, go crazy and develop, they go nuts and develop emotions and maybe think that they should have rights too. That'll never happen. Anyways. I'm sure it'll be fine. Yeah. Anyways, they're looking to make a biohybrid technology. All right. Hormunculus says, let's make robo bees instead of stopping. Exactly. The citizens of East Palestine, or Palestine, excuse me, have filed a class action lawsuit against Norfolk Southern. Give me 1 second, Phantomas, if you could. which they should because of the lack of anybody giving a hoot about what's going on there. Very, very lackluster response. A Youngstown, Ohio-based law firm has announced a class action lawsuit against Norfolk Southern Railway, and rightly they should file this lawsuit. Oh, they should be sued out of existence. Is that going to happen? I don't know. Over the derailment of a train in East Palestine using a strategy it says echoes the state's 1990s lawsuit against tobacco companies. The firm Johnson & Johnson is partnering with class action law firm Huggins Berman on behalf of all residents within 30 miles of the derailment site. The lawsuit specifically invokes the legal doctrine of public nuisance, the backbone of both the landmark 1990s lawsuits against the tobacco industry and ongoing litigation against opioid manufacturers and fossil fuel companies. Ongoing litigation because those guys are still running around doing their thing, selling opioids and fossil fuels. You try and stop us with your lawsuits. Anyways, in addition to punitive damages, the lawsuit also seeks the creation of a fund for medical monitoring, new testing and cleaning procedures, and injunctive relief in a form of safety and compliance oversight. The Environmental Protection Agency has already said it will compel Norfolk Southern to cover all cleanup expenses as well as the lodging costs for residents who are temporarily evacuated. Okay, well, I guess that's good. Something. In an email to The Hill, Huggins Berman, managing partner Steve Berman, said the lawsuit's aims were distinct from those expenses. And how, what's the extent to which they are compelling Norfolk Southern to clean this up? Poppy Davis said, right, they chose the name Soylent. I think you're trying to. Is that what you're referring to? Yeah. With its morbid associations to pique curiosity and deeper investigation, clearly not chosen with a traditionally flashy marketing scheme in mind. Okay. I mean, sure. It might get people's attention. I've seen it over the last few weeks and months, and every time I see it, I'm like, what? What? And I immediately just I just don't even, that's how ineffective that was to me, because I was like, yeah, I don't want something named Soylent. No, thank you. I don't even want to know what it is. All right. We'll take this call from Fantomas. How you doing? Fantomas?
Yeah. So what do you think about Pemex, the Pemex oil facility fires?
I don't know anything about it. Do you know anything about it? I just was kind of showing the tweet.
So apparently yesterday. Yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they had 3 fires in one day, and I'm just wondering if that's normal or unusual for oil facility. I have no idea. They had 3 fires in one day at 3 different facilities.
It seems a little. Yeah, circumstantial. Oh, it's just circumstantial. Yeah. These things happen, right?
It makes you think, like, who would do that?
Right. Right.
And it leads into a theme of what I'm talking about tonight, or today rather, about when I listened to Slow News Day, they were talking about they had someone covering. They were talking about climate change, and you can guess what happened when they started talking about climate change, Kev.
Oh, I'm sure.
And it seems to me that this is happening as I brought up before, it's happening more and more in frequency.
Yeah.
And because everyone is isolated in a wall and they don't want to talk to actual climate scientists,
Right.
which tells you all you really need to know, they're going to continue to get ignorant stats and statistics and analysis from people who aren't even immersed in these kind of studies.
Right.
And it just makes you wonder, like, how bad it's going to get in, say, 2 or 3 years with the information gap where it concerns climate. Now, this goes to show you, like, a perfect example to show them would be that climate feedback loop graphics that I showed you on your Twitter. I don't know if you took a look at that, but that to me is like an example of what happens when, you know, the changes are just slightly in 1 degree. The way, have you seen it? What they did with it?
I took a cursory glance at that. I think I had it in my doc, but then I don't know why I didn't.
But what's amazing
go back
about
to
it,
it.
Kev, and the reason why I'm bringing it up is you should show it to your audience. And the reason you should show it to your audience is because you can actually do interactive things with it, where you can actually change the temperature, and you can see the feedback loop, what happens directly when you change it. It's all visual, so you can see it instantly what's happening as soon as you change 1 degree, the temperature. You bring it down 1 degree, bring it up 1, and it has all these different cycle wheels that you can look at.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Right.
Well, I think people, if they were to look at that, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I mean, like, I think that people who don't understand the science of, climate science at all, right? They're confused about why everything that we're seeing kind of lines up with climate science, right? They're fairly quick to go, oh, that's the HARP or some things in the sky, or blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Not saying that none of that exists. I'm just saying, climate science actually pretty clearly explains what we're seeing right now, right? If you understand it, then nothing that's happening now is like surprising in any way. It's actually the only thing that's surprising about it is that these things were supposed to happen in the middle of the century, not in 2020.
Well, it's interesting because I've been looking at message boards and stuff like that, and one of the things that people will always go to for as a refute of whenever you bring up climate science, they'll talk about the industrial age, and they'll start talking about how it was a complete shift when the industrial age happened, and it's going to happen again. It's these kind of talking points,
right,
that continue to be brought up. So, again, I think we brought this up, Kev, that there probably should be some kind of climate debate in the near future with some different hosts or something, because I don't know. I just think it's a bit unfair. It's a bit unfair to have this kind of position and not to be challenged on it just constantly over and over and over again. And if you're not an expert in climate, haven't studied it,
right,
for someone to keep saying it over and over again, it's disingenuous, and it's
yeah.
I don't know. It just needs to be confronted in some way.
Absolutely. Oh, I think I found what you were talking about. Feedback loop information page.
Yeah.
From Oregon State University.
It's actually really cool, like infographics where you can just mess around with the temperatures and stuff. So they made it so anyone can mess around with the biofeedback loops.
Yes.
So you can, it's really clever what they did. So anyone who wants to check it out, you can probably look on Kev's Twitter or whatever. I think he retweeted it.
I'll drop the link in the chat.
Yeah, do that.
Okay.
And the other thing I wanted to mention, which I think you should pay attention to because I was just listening to it, is there's a TED Radio podcast on microbes, and it's really fascinating stuff talking about all of the microbes. One of the scientists said that one of the things that keeps her up at night is all of the microbes that we've destroyed that she doesn't know about that could help us. And I was like, that's a really, really good point. If you think about, because in her studies, she said there's just constantly, they're discovering microbes and microbe upon microbe upon microbe that could help us. But then she thinks about, like, well, there's so many other microbes that are being destroyed that we'll never ever get to know that could help us in so many areas that people just don't have any regard for where it concerns the environment.
Yes, and that also is one of those. It's hard because what has been done with COVID has led to a lot of skepticism about the actual real implications of a changing climate, producing, either killing beneficial microbes or producing harmful microbes and or organisms and or bacteria and or fungus and or all the stuff that is going to change in how we interact with the biosphere and how the biosphere interacts with us, right? Like what we surely could stumble upon a situation where all of a sudden a different temperature zone leads to things that were once nullified by our body's defenses. Suddenly now we're prone to being taken over by whatever it might be, a fungus or a microbe or something. So and I'm sure that's a big field of interest for scientists right now.
Yeah. And the last thing I wanted to mention, which I think you'll find interesting, is there's a documentary on YouTube that PBS just put up a month ago. I haven't seen all of it, but I just started watching the beginning on Ron Carter, the most recorded jazz bassist in history. And It's a really great documentary. I would suggest anyone who's into music to check it out because there's a lot that you can learn about life and how to prepare yourself in different situations. And it's just a really interesting look into Ron Carter's life and his methodology on how he takes day by day and how his method in how he does sessions and writing and composing. Very, very interesting stuff. So the Ron Carter, if you just look up Ron Carter PBS documentary, it'll come right up. It's about I don't know 110 minutes or so.
Yeah.
So check that out.
I will for sure. I love Ron Carter for sure. Thanks, Fantomas.
All right, Kev. That's all I got for today.
All right. Forgot to do this. A really good way to support the show is buymeacoffee.com/blackbaronnews. I really appreciate all the people that do support the show on a regular basis. It helps to keep this show going. You can also tip me on Rockfin. It's a good way to support the show. You can tip me on YouTube. That's a good way to support the show. Venmo and Cash App links are in the description box if you would like to support me that way. All right. Yeah, I mean, all the news stories about the Pemex fires just seems to be like, well, it looks like there's a lack of safety. Regulations and such. Okay. I mean, maybe. Seems a little unlikely that 3 in one day would happen. But could be. We were talking about East Palestine, and Biden was asked whether he was going to go visit the people at East Palestine, and he gives a very Trumpian answer. Actually, you would think Trump might actually be moved to go, but I think people have a lot of anger at Biden at this moment in East Palestine. Are you planning on traveling to East Palestine? We'll listen to this first. You can't hear what he's saying. His head looks funny too. The theory about there being several Bidens seems more likely over time, but his head looks awful. He doesn't look like Joe Biden in this picture. This doesn't look like Joe Biden. Looks like somebody else. But I mean, that's tinfoil hattery right there. anyways, he said, at this moment, I'm not going to East Palestine. I did a whole video. I mean, what the hell, Zoom. All I can hear every time I think of Zoom is that song of my generation. Who's zooming who? Your generation. Sir. Who's zooming who? How old are you? Okay. It's not a good look. It's not a good look. For the Biden administration to handle this as poorly as they have handled this. And they're not making any friends. They're not winning over any voters. They're not winning over hearts and minds with this. And meanwhile, yes, there are a lot of people out there blaming the Trump voters. And even if, let's assume that maybe this is even a partisan response, right? I'm not going to help these people. They didn't vote for me, blah, blah, blah. That's not, that's not helpful to the country. It doesn't really matter, does it? These people need help. And golly, you'd think that maybe some outreach would be really good for your brand, if that's what you're concerned about. Or you would be really good for winning over the hearts and minds of the people, if that's what you're concerned about. Kayla Johnson, Elizabeth Warren is all over trying to green up the military. She wants those weapons of war to be not only green, but she wants them to be, decentralized or unmonopolized, right? Oh, we have this monopoly of arms makers, and we got to break that up. We want military hardware to be made by, several different companies, excuse me. We want competition. Okay. Wow, that's what a hill to die on there, Elizabeth Warren. Being a progressive Democrat means fully supporting U.S. warmongering. Exactly. But wanting aircraft carriers to be powered by green energy and sticking up for small-time mom-and-pop military-industrial complex war profiteers. Right. What the hell? This is not an avenue to hang your hat on, Elizabeth Warren. Just in case she was wondering, but she's probably not wondering. She's so lost in the sauce. In the 1990s, America had 51 major contractors bidding for defense work, and we got to change that. We got to go back to the old ways. Well, yeah, how about we start with mainstream media? How about we start with, several other parts of the economy that could be served by demonopolizing. Yes, Jay Brandt, Biden is proof the presidency is a mere place holding. All right, let's keep going. We're almost at the end of the show, guys. It is actually quite frigid in my studio at the moment. It's for Los Angeles. I know some of you might say, that's nothing. But it's like barely 40 degrees in the place where I live, and that is chilly for a high of the day for me. And I don't even have any heat on or nothing. Okay. Oh, they're trying to give George W. Bush a Peace Prize. Can you believe it? And the Democrat, Nancy Pelosi is fully out. She's always been a big supporter of George Bush. Oh my God. This is the Democratic Party's true face. This is them telling you who they are. This is Nancy Pelosi extolling the virtues of George W. Bush.
Once again, I'll just say this honestly, that the Bush family is becoming
It's an honor. I'm not going to play any more of that. It's an honor to be affiliated with a war criminal. It is an honor to be affiliated with a war criminal. Yeah, and they are seriously trying to give George W. Bush a Peace Prize. That's when you know the Nobel Peace Prize doesn't mean anything anymore. If this man gets it. Yes, George Bush, who rigged the 2000 election. Yes, they're really trying to. He's been nominated, I guess. Why? And also Prime Minister Tony Blair. Oh my God. We need to give 2 war criminals Nobel Peace Prizes, right? She needs a necklace made of teeth. Oh yeah, Judy Truitt. That's pretty good to match her bullet bracelet. Yeah. Is that appropriate? That's the thing. That's the thing I guess I was going for yesterday when I showed that. I mean, it's ghoulish, absolutely ghoulish. But is that even appropriate for somebody like Nancy Pelosi to be wearing a bracelet made of bullets that have killed? Is that an appropriate thing? That is just bizarre to me. That is truly, yes, homunculus Hitler for a Peace Prize, right? He did wonderful things. You know, he did some bad things, but he did some pretty good things too. I think he should be nominated for a Peace Prize for those things. She Lost Adult said she posted a war crime on Instagram. Yeah, making death totems is considered a crime against humanity. Yes. Yeah, not only just inappropriate, but kind of all out bad. Yeah, a little weird there. And then so yeah, they're going to nominate. I mean, I don't know. The only way maybe the Nobel Committee could save some face is if they just laughed this straight out of the building immediately. What? No, get out of here. Get out of here. All right, this is for I'm going to leave you on this. I'm going to leave you on this. This is for the Ukraine boys that like to show up in my chats. Lies. This is from Black in the Empire. What was the great democracy and free country Ukraine doing to their own citizens in the Donbass for 8 years before February 24th? So this is a report from CNN. This is from long ago. And this is interviews with people of the Donbass talking about what Ukraine is doing to them. This is way before this current war. This is, it's good to have a grasp of history when you're thinking about things and talking about things. It's good to actually understand the whole thing and not just, history didn't just start just last year.
Petro Poroshenko will have a hard time winning back hearts and minds in this city. As the people of Donetsk sweep up the debris of their homes and livelihoods, they are hardened against a president they say is killing his own people. We are Ukrainian, but they kill us, this man says. So we probably need our own country. The people in Kiev, they are not brothers for us. The shells hit these homes days ago, but the tears are still fresh.
Или слава. 27-го, 28-го, 29-го очень сильно. Фактически мы живем под подвалом.
We live on the ground. It was so hard for 2 weeks, especially for 27, 28, 29th. But it's quiet.
Извините, я
Sorry, I need to go.
And that's what has been going on in Ukraine for quite a while. It was the people of the Donbass. And we might need our own country. We might need to be going so. And yeah, and this is the whole kind of, in the historical run up is going on now. So you can't just go. It all. No, that's not when it started. Okay. All right. Jay Brandt gave me a super chat. Thank you, Jay Brandt. I appreciate it. Thanks, guys, for hanging out with me. I'm going to sign off now. Rockfinners, thank you so much. And Colin, thank you so much for hanging out with me. And I will see you all tomorrow at the regular time of 12 p.m. Pacific Standard. And until next time, peace.